I don't know about you, but my world changed in an instant the moment I became a mom. Went into diapers, sleepless nights, smiling so much, hoping he wouldn't cry because there's so many nights I wanted to cry. And then 3 weeks later, thinking that my uterus was just closing up and the pain, I found out I had a ruptured appendix. And at the same time, they found a hernia. So within the first 7 months of his life, 2 surgeries and 6 weeks of recovery for each where I could not even pick him up. Looking around, having to ask for help. But everything I had at that moment went into trying to feel better, but mostly to make sure that all his needs were met while I was doing this. And then somewhere along the line came 2 more girls where we started juggling play dates and classes and museum trips and preschools and just making sure that they weren't killing each other. And so I'd relish those moms' nights out where we'd start complaining about what our days were like and trying to see, which ended up turning into a competition to see who got spit up on the most or who had the worst day. But then by the next day, that camaraderie that I found with the moms felt like it was gone when I needed someone, when I actually felt lonely and isolated. I didn't have that person to call upon. And so I struggled. But if someone needed my help, I just dropped everything and was right there for them. And so I started to feel like I needed something more. And so I started to those ideas of starting something but never quite finishing it. I went and read Marie Kondo and I started to spark joy, and I went through all the way of cleaning my closet. Yeah, that's as far as I got. Then I went into steps and started to create my Command Central. Still working on that to this day. And then Beachbody came along with the 21-day fix and getting my gym membership, and nothing ever seemed to last. Then somewhere way down the line, COVID happened. And it kind of made me rethink and put new perspectives on things, looking at where was I at. And in the midst of COVID, we decided that we would homeschool our kids. And on that same day, I started a challenge called the 75 Hard. Now, it wasn't necessarily just a 75 Hard challenge that caused all these changes, because I also did things in there like morning miracles. The one consistent thing I found was making those small habits changes and finding that accountability. Because along the way, I found accountability partners in these groups that helped me keep going on the days that I felt struggling. Those were the people that I texted or called, and we pushed each other along the way. And I also learned that it isn't a one-size-fits-all. That what works for me will not work for you, and to keep pushing myself to be that aerobics person who jumps up, and it's not me. I will take a downward dog any day, whereas I know some of you are the opposite. So what it came down to me was trying to find a community where we could figure out what works for us and how do we support each other doing that. And so from this came my idea of creating a community called Our Circle of Grace.